Hello everyone. And hello Stephen, how are you doing today?
Not bad, yeah.
So what have you been up
How's yourself, man?
Pretty good. What have you been up to since we talked last?
I've just been scratch building away. I've started working on a, what is it? This is a, let's see if I can get that in the shot.
Nice.
Yeah, just started scratch building a...
Orky flying machine?
What is it? It's like one of those orc jet things. I've got propellers and everything all sorted out, so they'll be added on later. But you know, you want to paint those areas in first, in behind the propellers, because otherwise it's going to be hard to reach later on.
Yeah, no way to get to them.
So yeah, that's just kind of the prototype one. So that's me figuring out how to make one, and then the next one I'll be taking pictures of it, making it in the process, and then making a video on it. So that's one of the projects I'm kind of working on. I've recently acquired a whole host of TT combat kits. So I'm going to be
the MDF ones, yeah?
Oh yeah. So I'm going to be making a whole bunch of them. I got most of the vehicles that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be interesting as well. And yeah, aside from that, not a whole heck of a lot.
Sometimes you just got to take it easy.
Definitely.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, this is Poppy.
So let's just say hi to everyone in the chat. So hello Charlene, Cross from Campaign Terrain. Lisa,
Hey.
Dungeon Matron joined us today. Hi there. Tina Martins. And who else? Oh, Zane from Zane Morgan Crafts. Also a good guy for Blender, and I'm glad he's with us today. He'll probably be saying like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's always infuriating when you see someone and they're just like, oh, which button is it I press to open the file? And you know, they're just like, oh, come on.
And Wolfenstone. Hi guys.
Hey everyone.
So basically last time we talked, Stephen here mentioned that he would like to start using Blender. So what we're going to do today is just go over some absolute basics and do some simple modeling, and maybe just touch on sculpting. I'm not going to go into sculpting today because that's a monster to do with just a mouse. So just going to go over the basics of that, and then if you want to figure that out yourself, that's up to you. Okay with that?
Cool. Sounds like a plan, man.
Okay, so let's just jump into Blender here.
Cool.
Okay, now my setup will look a bit different from yours because I've got some presets saved. I use it mostly for video editing, so this is where it opens on when I start it.
Cool.
Okay, but in general, you're probably going to want to go to the modeling tab.
Okay, do I screen share now, or?
If you like, so I can keep an eye on what you're doing.
Okay, start sharing. Yeah, so I've just got a cube in the middle of my screen at the moment.
Okay, you can delete all of that. We're not going to be using that.
Okay, so delete.
Mm-hmm.
And then where do I go now?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to add a reference image first. I thought we could model some orky glyphs because you know
Cool.
they're simple, they're useful, and you're already familiar with the shapes, so we don't need to wrap your hand around them. Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay, I find that when you're using, when you're learning new skills, it's usually best to eliminate as many variables as possible. Okay, now when we import a new image, it's always going to be perpendicular to your plane of view. So what we're going to do is we're going to look down on the scene from the top down.
Okay.
And if you go to the top right of your viewing area, you will see that widget with X, Y, and Z in red, blue, and green.
Yep.
Okay, and if you click on the Z, it's just going to shift the view so that you're looking from the top down.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Now I'm just going to let me just turn on the screen sharing keys. So okay, I'm just going to press Shift A and go to image, and I'm going to pick a reference image. Okay, now I have that image I already shared with you last time.
Okay, so you're saying I click Shift?
Shift A and go to image, and then go to reference image.
Shift A. Where's image? Oh, there we go. Reference. And where am I going here? Pictures?
Yeah, just pick the one I sent you last time if you have it. Otherwise, I can just send it to you again.
Wait, what have you sent me?
The image with the...
Oh, the art glyphs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. I didn't know I had to save that. I thought it was just
okay.
a reference pic. That's fine. We can just do it from scratch anyway. It'll probably make more sense.
Okay, no problem. I mean, like,
so add a cube.
You're just going to be following the some basic shapes anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now, let me just move this to the center. Okay, and we can start by modeling the this one, the Y symbol.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm going to start with by adding a plane.
Alright, so Shift A to add something.
Mesh.
Mesh.
And plane.
Plane.
Oh. And that's a bit oversized at the moment, so I'm just going to scale it down by pressing S and scaling it down with the mouse. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode. Okay, with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, now when you go into edit mode, you should see the corners change into these dots. Okay.
And how do we get to edit mode?
By pressing Tab.
Tab. Okay.
Okay, now basically that means that you can select the points and move them around. You can also, by pressing 2, you can switch to edge editing mode.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can select individual edges. Okay. And by pressing 3, you can select the whole faces, which isn't terribly useful right now.
Okay.
Right. Now, one problem here, for example, is that I cannot see my reference. So I'm just going to go over to wireframe mode. That's in the top right.
Top right.
Okay, you have viewport shading. That's just on top of the gadget with the X, Y, and Z.
Okay, so here where it says options, no?
Just under that, yeah.
Viewpoint sharing.
Yeah, there are like 4 circles.
Yep.
Click on the first one.
Okay.
That's right, and makes it transparent. So now we can see whatever is under it. Okay, now let's start with the editing, okay? basically you've got this shape which is not exactly symmetrical, but it's got the same general stuff going on all 4 quarters, yeah?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to model 1/4 of it, and we're going to mirror it so we get the rest. Then we can make more adjustments so that it's not exactly the same all the way through. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to start with a loop cut tool
Okay.
by pressing Ctrl R.
Control R. Okay, that seems to be giving me 2 axes lines
Exactly.
on the
One.
object.
And we want a second one which is vertical. You can just click once and then press enter to confirm it. Now your block should be cut up in 4 pieces.
Okay, so Control R.
Okay, click and press enter. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, now once you have your 4 pieces, we're just going to need one corner to begin with. So we're going to press 3 for face selection mode
Okay.
and select the pieces I don't need. And just press delete to remove them. Delete and press faces. Wait, I think you're still in vertex editing mode.
I need to change
No.
modes.
No, you're fine. But I think, did you break it in 4 pieces or 3? Because I only see 3 there.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay.
I'm going by what you're saying.
So slow down, because I think you just broke it in 3 vertical pieces.
Okay.
And you're going to need.
Well, my one will just look a bit different.
It's going to be a bit harder to work with it that way.
Okay. How do I change the viewing angle?
You can hold down the middle mouse button.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's kind of what we're working with at the moment.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Right. So Control R. I'm going to add an extra vertex there. Control R. Another one here. So that's it into quarters now. Yeah.
Exactly. Now you can pick the. We're just going to work with 1/4 for now, so we can pick the faces you don't need and remove them.
Okay.
Okay. Just click on them. Okay, wait. You're on. You're selecting gadgets right now. What you want to do is press 3 on the keyboard.
Okay.
And now you can select entire faces, which is going to be much faster. There you go. And delete faces. Okay, just leave one of them.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on, because wait, you were working on a cube, I think, yeah? Yeah, delete 3 of those other faces. Because you've still got the bottom of the cube in there.
Okay, which one's delete?
Any 3 of them, just leave one. So let's say that one. Yeah, that's okay. No, leave that one, because you're still going to need one to work with.
Okay.
Okay, now What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more loop cuts in here. So it's Control R again. So I can shape these teeth and these pieces. So I'm adding one single cut here.
Okay.
I think it's easiest if you're watching my screen now, so you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Then we can try to walk back through it. Okay, so start with a loop cut. Select the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then press G. G always moves stuff. Okay? And we can press X, Y, or Z to move it along only one side. Okay, another horizontal cut. And I'm going to remove this face here so I have kind of an L shape. Not sure what you're building over there, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm just kind of playing around just to see how you manipulate stuff.
Yeah, that's fine, it's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to model these teeth with, and I need to add points to do that. So going for another loop cut, hitting 5, Control R, 5, no. Oh. This is not cooperating. And just do them one by one. There. Go to point editing.
How do you go to point editing?
Press 1. So
1.
1 lets you move points by themselves. Okay, and right now I'm just moving the points just to create these teeth.
Yeah, I don't think mine's a cube anymore.
It is a very interesting shape though.
Yeah, I can always create another cube though.
What I suggest is for stuff like glyphs, you start off with a plane. Because it's only one-sided and it's much easier to work with.
Right. Ah, because holding R just means rotate.
Yes, R is rotate and S is scale.
Okay. Right, so R. Just want to try and get as close as to what you've been doing. Right, so there's our two axes, because you wanted me to do a cross
Exactly.
at one point, just so we end up with a corner.
Exactly.
Okay, and then we select the faces, and we want to... Why do we want to delete faces? This is what I'm not sure about.
Okay, basically, by quartering it, you could even just use the whole one and move it around, but just a different way of getting to the same place.
Okay.
So, for example, if you wanted to start with this, you could delete the top left face of this one. So we're left with an L shape.
Right, so 3 to select faces.
Correct.
And you want me to delete the top layer?
The top left one, yes.
Top left. Trying to remember which side is left and right here.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that one.
That one, yeah, that one. So delete that one.
Delete face.
Okay, now if you go to the loop cut again.
Loop cut.
Control R.
O-R, yep.
Yes. And make a few cuts in the bottom left face. That's fine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make a couple of them. Basically, these will be where the teeth will go.
And Control R again.
Okay. So, could you zoom in a bit?
I don't know how.
Middle mouse button, up and down.
Yeah, my middle mouse button's disabled, so.
Oh.
There we go. You just click up and down on the magnifying glass. There we are.
Okay, so if you switch to point editing now, press 1.
Okay.
Okay, you can select any of the points where where you made the loop cuts at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
There's one on top.
Yeah. So press G for grab, so you can move it around. Yeah. And if you press Y on the keyboard now, that will look it to the Y-axis. So now you can shape the teeth.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'd want to grab this one, hit the Y, and then G to move it.
I do mean the corner one won't give you a tooth because it's kind of stuck to the rest of the other ones. It's just the ones that you cut in later.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So now we should have a kind of a quarter of a...
We've got a jaggy.
Yeah, we've got kind of a quarter of a of the glyph.
Oh, that's making me get another V on there.
I think you've still got loop cut selected, so pick the select tool, which is on your left, just under object mode.
This one here?
1 second. On your left. Left.
Oh, select here.
Further left. It's like an arrow with a white arrow with a dotted line around it. Up. There.
Ah, the cursor with the
that's the one.
hash box.
Okay.
Or dashed box, I don't know. Maybe clarify that. Right.
Okay, so now you've got more or less a quarter of the glyph. You can then keep refining the teeth. You've got some extra stuff going around, but you can remove that later. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want to show you next is how to add modifiers. So for example, what I want to do is mirror this so we have a full glyph.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, right now you're in edit mode and you want to tab out of that, so you're in object mode again.
Okay.
All right. Next, we're going to pick modifiers, which is the little spanner icon on the right.
Okay. Add modifier.
Yeah, that's the one. And I'm going to pick mirror. Ah, here we
I don't have anything selected yet though.
Hmm?
So do I need to select stuff first?
Yes, you need to select your model.
Okay, how do I do that?
Okay, you can either click on it in the view.
Click on it.
Yeah. You're still in edit mode. Press tab to go into object mode. Okay, there you go. And click on it to select it. It's selected already. If it's orange, it's selected already.
Okay. So add modifier. And you're saying you want me to mirror it?
Mirror it, yeah. Now, right now, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, including your old object, which will all get mirrored, but you can remove those later.
Okay.
See, it created a duplicate of the of that one.
Yes.
Okay, so what I need you to do right now is go tab into edit mode again.
Tab. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and remove that object in the middle.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one. Because that's just going to get into our way for now.
Faces. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now select the rest of the stuff. Okay, and move it closer to the to that center. Press G
to select everything at once.
Say again?
When I click on it, it selects everything at once.
It's okay. The one you have selected is the main one.
Okay.
The other one is just a reflection. So press G and move it closer to that center. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay, that's in the center now.
Okay, and now tap out of it again and try to set the mirror again.
And tab and mirror. There we go. I think I need to select it. There we go, and
okay, basically what's happening is that it's pretty far off the object center, and you've got all those other faces on it that are being replicated as well.
Okay, so we can delete those.
Okay, Crane, you can press Shift S to get a snap menu. This will always center the selected object at 000. That is correct, but it's not just a question of snapping because it's being modified at an offset. Okay, yeah, you need to delete the excess faces, but tell you what, on the modifiers, do you see that there's a little monitor sign? Ah, okay, you disabled them, okay.
I didn't realize that would delete it. So mirror, then we can mirror object.
Okay, mirror object is what you will use as a mirror, so that if you wanted reflecting across another axis, for example.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's all the parts there, all mirrored.
Mm-hmm. So right now it's like I said, because there's that offset, they're not touching together.
So we can change the offset here in the data.
Should be able to, yeah.
Doesn't seem to be doing much, or a whole lot of anything.
Okay, go out of edit mode. You're in edit mode right now.
So tab.
Tab, yeah. Okay, and try now. That's not going to work like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Bisect.
No, that's only going to work if they're already close enough together.
Okay. So how do we move them closer then?
Okay, so first of all, remove the mirror modifier. Delete it.
Okay. Are you sure we can't just, or we can just apply it and then we can...
But if you apply it, you're just going to create a lot more geometry that's not going to be useful. So what we're going to do is remove the mirror modifier, reset the position of the object. Okay?
Is this because it all counts as the same object now?
Yeah, kind of thing, yeah.
Okay. So remove that.
Okay, so go back into edit mode.
Tab. Yep.
Okay, select everything. You can press A to select everything straight away.
Okay.
Okay, and let's just click that blue Z in the top right corner.
Bloom set.
Z, yes, it's just under where you are right now. Further up.
Okay.
Slide it down. Just a bit further down. It's right under where you are now. That one.
Oh, the view.
The view, yeah.
Okay.
Click Z. Click the Z.
Oh, Z.
Yeah.
I thought you said set.
No, sorry about that.
Set.
Okay. Now click G and get it aligned with the 0 position.
Okay.
Try to get the top left corner over the center.
I mean, can't you just click it so it goes straight to the center? Is there not like a auto center button?
Kind of. 1 second. Okay, so press Shift S.
Selection to cursor, selection active. World origin, that must be it.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good enough.
Okay, try now. Tab out of edit mode again.
And then add modifier, mirror. And yeah, it's still bumping off. quite a ways away.
Okay, so remove the mirror modifier. Tab into edit mode again.
Oh, there's a little weird line there now.
Yeah, I wonder where that came from. So tab into edit mode.
I don't know what that's about. Seems to shift. Right, so tab, edit, yep.
Okay, so hang on a second. Try to remember where the okay, so my bad. Tab out to object mode.
Okay.
Okay, go to object, and there's a set origin option.
Object mode. Just click on it, yeah.
1 second. So yeah, you're already in object mode. So just go to the object menu. There you go.
Oh, object.
That's the one, yeah. Set origin. It's the second option from the top.
Okay.
And origin to 3D cursor. There you go. Try to apply a mirror modifier now.
Okay. Add modifier. Am I in the right mode?
You should be, yeah. There you go.
And then we do it on the y-axis as well, and there's our object.
Yeah.
So mine is slightly different. It's like 2 diamonds.
Okay, so basically if you go into edit mode now, you should be able to move the points around so they're not touching each other.
Right, so tab and then 1 for the point selection.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to be working. 1? Is it because I'm still in the mirror and then you hit apply?
You're still in object mode. Don't apply it yet.
Okay. So
tab. Okay. Press 1 to go to point selection.
Okay. And then we can edit some of these. So I'll zoom in a bit.
What I suggest is, do you see that merge option you have on the mirror modifier?
Merge. Yep.
Uncheck that for now.
Wait, where was the merge again?
It's just
there
you
okay.
go. Okay, because basically what's going to happen there is that if the points are very close together, it will weld them into a single point.
Right.
So if you had the tooth and the mirror of the tooth, you will not be able to separate them.
Okay, and we want to click on Z, so we're just on the top-down view.
Yep. And you can just move those points up and down now to create jaggies.
Okay, so we want to click 1, so we've got the points, and then it's G to move, and then click to select, and then G to move.
Yeah, exactly, and you can press Y to constrain it to so we can move only up and down, so it doesn't move off to the side or whatever.
Y.
Yeah. Do you see when you see that green axis on your point? That means that it's logged to the y-axis only.
Okay, let's see if that's worked.
Well, it's moved it.
Oh, we've pulled the points underneath. So Control Z that. We want to select a point that's at the top here. And then G to move and Y to fix it to the Y-axis.
Exactly.
Go up that way. And I think I may have deleted too many faces because it's not pulling in the other side there.
Tell you what, go to the view modes. That's on the right-hand side. Just over the axis. Yeah, okay. Click one of the others, so it's no longer transparent.
Okay.
Okay, this is what your object looks like right now. Ah.
Perfection.
Well, you got the teeth going at least, so yeah, you've got that.
Well, I certainly know a lot more than I did going in. I'm just going to nip off for a quick break at the moment. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's see how everyone's doing in the chat. Hope no one's spaced out yet. Yeah, it looks like Tina is terrified of this. Yeah, it happens. Dungeon Matron, although 3D printing makes absolutely gorgeous pieces, I prefer to handcraft most of my stuff. Yes and no, I think I still prefer to craft 99% of the stuff, but there are some pieces that is it really worth crafting? I mean, like if you need 99 tiny pieces which are almost all exactly the same, is it really worth crafting them by hand all the time? It's just an extra tool on the set, yeah. So let's see who else. Make more time to craft. Yeah, work does it get in the way of hobbies and other stuff, doesn't it? Zane, I think it needs some more geometry. What does Zane? I saw what Zane did and I want to give it a try, so I went to this page and now I have the STL files. Well, yeah, this stuff that Zane models is a bit more advanced than this. It's like, hey, hi SX boys. Smooth things out a bit. We'll get there, yeah. No, but I was saying the stuff that Zane is producing is a bit more advanced than not just anything other than I think it's well above my skill level right now. And like I said earlier, today we're sticking with the very basics. I love the fact that 3D prints can help your crafts on a higher level. In what sense, Tina?
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, apologies for that.
Hey, no worries.
Yes. So yours is looking fantastic. Is yours? Would you say yours is done now?
Say again, sorry.
Is your one finished, or is there more work to be done?
I think there are a couple more things that we can do to it. And
okay.
Let me show you. So, just going to walk you through this. Basically, one of the reasons that I asked you to start with a plane rather than a cube is that it gives us a bit more control over what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply these modifiers. Sorry, apply this modifier because there's only one, and change it. And the reason I'm going to apply the modifier first is if we don't do that,
So this is you applying the mirror modifier?
No, I'm just going to show you why I'm going to apply the modifier first.
Okay.
Because if we don't do that, it's going to just keep mirroring itself.
Yes.
Things are getting stuck. I don't see if I move only this one, it's moving all 4 points because it's mirroring the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is go to object mode and apply this modifier. And now all these points are independent. So if we wanted to...
so you can make it like asymmetrical.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And thus more orky.
As it should be. Okay.
Yeah, it's looking nice.
Okay, so next thing I want to do this would be unprintable because it's a plane with no thickness at all. Yeah.
Yes.
It has no volume. So what I'm going to do is jumping back into edit mode, face selection mode, and selecting everything.
Okay.
Now if I press E, I can extrude that, assuming this doesn't get stuck.
Right, so you want to hit E and then is it G to move it?
No, just 1 second because I think this is glitching because of the... So A to select, E to extrude.
Is it because you're on point mode that it's not working?
I'm not on point mode, I'm on face selection mode.
Okay.
So again, E. Why is this getting stuck? Come on.
Yeah, so it's 3 to hit face mode to select the facings, and then it's E to extrude, which means pull everything in a particular direction, like along another plane.
It basically stretches it. It kind of gives it a thickness.
Yes.
Just trying to understand why it got stuck in this. It does this sometimes, especially when I'm trying to do it live. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've all heard that one before. It's like, I swear this has never happened to me before.
It always finds some new and interesting way to annoy me.
Yeah, so it's A to select all, and then E to extrude, and then what is it? You hit either X, Y, or Z to fix it along that particular axis.
Yes.
And then you move the mouse just to pull it in whatever, to however much thickness you want on it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Except that it's not doing that at the moment, so... Okay, now I think this might be a good time to ask Zane for help. So, Zane, help!
Oh, bless. Maybe just save it, close it, open it back up, and then start afresh, because it might be that it's selected some weird thing. You've maybe accidentally hit a key that's making it not do the thing you want it to do.
Yeah, the problem with Blender is that once you, it saves all these things, so if you save it and close it and reopen it, and if you had this setting changed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
damn
so
it,
not an
I
option.
think I know what it was. I think I enabled this snapping here at the top.
Ah,
Aha, let's see if that was it. Yep, that was it.
which is absolute grid snap.
Say again?
Is a top, is a
Yeah,
box
that's
that
the
you
one.
tick, yeah?
Green, yeah, exactly, that was it. There was snap turned on. Okay, so back to this. Now we have a thickness.
Nice.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Okay, one more thing I want to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to edge selection mode now, and I'm going to select all the inside faces. There are faster ways of doing this, but you know, habit and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So what would be the faster way to select it all?
If you've designed the object properly, you can probably do a loop selection.
Right.
But I usually never manage to get that working, so definitely not going to work on live. So what I want to do is give this a bevel, okay?
Cool.
And we can just use the bevel tool here.
And so what does beveling do? It just sort of rounds it off ever so slightly.
It just creates this, it splits off an edge so that it creates a bevel basically. It splits the line and it creates a new face in between.
So adding a small contour around the edges.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, looks a lot better.
This also helps you when you're doing, if you try to do a subdivision later to make it smoother, which is useful if you want to have something which is more contoured or stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This helps you preserve sharp edges, because once they get smoothed, they don't get rounded off.
Yes.
Okay, so I can show you the difference here, I think. Go to the subdivision surface modifier. Yep. There you go.
Oh my, that's a bit too intense. Yeah, you've lost half your detail doing it that way.
Okay, but you see where there was the bevel, there's still this kind of shoulder.
Yeah.
Whereas the places where which didn't have the bevel are totally rounded off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a useful thing to keep in mind with the stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, but basically, again, this the most important things here we're understanding how to move the points around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think you got that. How to apply modifiers. Okay.
Yep.
And that's the basic. I think that's the basic stuff. I mean, with that and a bit of patience, you can probably get quite a lot of these small things done. And I think you also wanted to see about digital starting, yeah?
Yeah.
SX voice. I once textured the whole gaming table with ash from my barbecue. Dude, that is the orkiest thing I've heard today. Okay,
Hold
so
on, I need to get the YouTube chat up so I can see what we're seeing here. So just mute this tab.
okay, I'm just going to remove that.
Pop out chat. There we go. Ash from the barbecue. That is pretty darn clever.
Yeah.
Assume like after you've done that, once you've sort of like got ash all over the thing, you would then need to seal it in with PVA.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it would just very easily just be dusted off or whatnot.
I mean, I think it works like any other basing material.
Yeah, like weathering powders and such like. I get you. Yeah, apparently charcoal's quite good as well. Like if you can like take like ground up charcoal, I believe, and mix that with PVA, and then you've got black acrylic paint.
Fair enough, but to be honest, there are easier ways to get black acrylic paint.
Really?
Yeah, like buying black acrylic paint.
Yeah, I suppose.
Dungeon Mate, I think Ross and I think very much alike. Whenever I throw something away, I think if I can use it in a craft beforehand. It drives my husband crazy. You lost me at the throwing things away part. It's like if it doesn't smell funny, it's potential terrain. Yeah, I do get into trouble for that. Anyway, back onto the
matte spray varnish. Yeah, that'll do the trick as well. That's a lot easier and faster than PVA because I find a problem with PVA is that if you use a lot of it all at once and it doesn't dry almost instantly, like especially if you're using it in sponges and such like, if that stuff doesn't dry out all the way, it's going to get moldy.
I think I had that problem with my grassland gaming mat.
Oh.
It's not exactly moldy, but it dried white rather than transparent.
Right.
And it's super big.
Yeah, that's you using too much PVA, I think, if it goes white. But yeah, it's hard to get the mix just right. Sometimes you want to sort of like dilute it with water, just to thin it out a bit.
Yeah, I think I was looking it up in a railroad modeling forum, and what they were saying basically is it's what happens if you try to dry it out in cold conditions or highly humid conditions. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I was trying to dry it in very cold and very humid conditions. So yeah, I think I just hit on the winning combination of things not to do.
Oh man. But I think a trick you can use as well is like, because I don't know if you've ever tried making flock before.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, like if you're ever just needing it to, if it's just ever so slightly damp, a good way to dry it out is to use those silica gel packs. And apparently dried rice works as well.
Oh, great. How do you... But you don't mix them in the same container, no? Otherwise, I don't think there's an easy way to get the rice out of the flock.
Don't know. like I said, it's just something I've heard. I've never tried it, but I use the silica packs because you know what it's like. You buy a new telly or new appliance or something, you get loads of those things, and I always just save them in the drawer because you never know when you're going to need them. And then it's like, oh wow, I finally found out what you need them for. Yeah. Oh, and hair dryers. Yeah.
Yeah, they work. Yeah, and I do own a hair dryer. Obviously, I mean, like, you don't get this.
Yeah, I polished mine the other day as well.
Essex boys, it's not like you need the hair dryer for much else. Not really, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I saw that you've set up an interview, by the way, with Dungeon Miser.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good that he's getting back into the whole scene because he was out of it for the longest time because he had a what is it? He's got a new kid, so yeah, those tend to take priority.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Hobby first.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been a fan of his for a very long time. I just love the stuff he makes.
Yeah.
and the thinking behind it. I mean, like, I think he's used some materials and stuff that's like, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, actually, what was it? I recently did an Orkney dice tower, and I went and took an idea of his, which was to use the cat litter. Obviously not used cat litter, just the.
No kidding.
But it's really good for making rocks with. Like it like breaks apart as well, and then once you seal it in with the PVA, it's rock solid.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's brilliant for texturing with.
Do you use any particular type, like super absorbent or something like that?
I don't know. I just use whatever's the cheapest one out there. But yeah, you can get a whole sack of like kitty litter for like a couple of quid. It's perfect basing material. If you're doing rubble and runes and such, like, highly recommend. Just all you need is like a little tub's worth, and you're good to go.
Yeah. By the way, do you want to turn off your screen share because we're still looking at your Blender right now?
All right. Let me just.
Dungeon Miser. That's a good name, Dungeon Miser. Yeah, and it goes with his whole channel concept too, because it's literally about getting miniatures or making miniatures for as cheap as possible. One thing I like about his channel is the breakdown of the prices. Like, this costs 1 penny, this costs 13 pennies, and then okay, this set of miniatures cost like 6 pennies per piece.
Yeah, I always tend to kind of go for averages when it comes to that sort of thing, because when it comes to Games Workshop, how often have they just bumped up their prices? If I say, oh yes, this kit is 30 quid, like I was actually doing that. What was it? The Megatrack Scrapjet. It was £30 when I started making the video. 1 week later, it was £32.50.
No way.
Yeah.
The scary part is that I think other companies are jumping onto the pricing bandwagon. I don't know if you've seen it. There was a video by Goobert on Hobbies a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
Yeah, so basically, WizKids released this pack of kobolds. 7 kobolds, yeah?
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, those are about the tiniest monsters you can have. And you're going to need a hell of a lot more than 7. Yeah?
Yeah.
But a box of 7 is $50.
$5 for 7 models.
No, $50 for 7 models.
$15.
50.
50.
50.
Are you joking?
Nope.
That's madness.
It is, yeah. I mean, like, they literally all fit in the palm of his hand. It's like, eh.
Are they resin?
No, plastic.
At that price.
Just hard plastic.
Hard plastic for that price. even GW aren't that bad.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, yet being the operative word. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. It's just the pricing conventions are just astronomical. I don't understand it. It's I heard recently as well that the GW, they got there was like a court case or something in the US, and what had happened was someone was suing over the price conventions or something, and it turns out that the cardboard used for the boxes is more expensive than the actual plastic and contents inside.
Yeah, I heard about that too. It's just the because the hard plastic itself isn't. It's worth almost nothing.
Yeah, it's just madness. Like,
Crazy
how do
stuff.
they keep getting away with it? How do they keep getting away with it? It's just madness.
If I could figure it out, I wouldn't be doing steel. I'd probably be off on a yacht somewhere.
Nice. I'm wondering, can I change cameras here?
Yeah,
Because
go
I
ahead.
wanted
Go
to
ahead.
show something quick.
Edit.
There we go. Right. And I'll just put out this gaming mat on top.
Magic!
Or cutting mat.
It's a clean mat.
Presentation's everything, man. But yeah, what I wanted to do was I wanted to go over this because this is a treasure trove of parts. And this is like the hand soap from, no, it's not hand soap. It's, what is it? It's like your squeegee bottles.
Yeah, I know those.
Yeah, and it was just to go over how best to dismantle these and all the parts you can get from them.
Fire away.
First off, the easiest bit is just to pull out the tubing, and this tubing's absolutely ideal. You can just slice that up any way you like it, and it's ideal for making cannon barrels. It's ideal for making like little rivets and ports and stuff as well if you slice it thin enough. And this part will just, you can pull that right off, and you can see it's kind of like a little ridge there, so you can actually slide that back to pull that part off. This part here, the trigger, I'm not sure how well the camera's going to pick up on that, but you can actually just hook, if you lift it up, you can actually just pull it out by lifting it as pull it out the way. There is a bit of a trick to it.
To be honest, I took a few apart, but my only trick was using extreme violence. I mean, they came apart at the end, so it kind of worked out.
And I think at this stage, this is where the violence comes in, but getting those parts off makes it easier for cutting around all the rest of it.
Okay.
Because you're not going to end up with these bits springing back and hitting you in the face as much. But yeah, you want to try and get the spring inside there, because it's often a good piece of kit.
Pretty sure I had a few parts around here, but it must be another box. Dungeon Matron, I heard if you sign up for GW games, you can't use 3D printed minis, you're required to use their minis. Yeah, if you play in a Games Workshop store, you can only use miniatures that they are selling. You cannot use third party, you cannot use 3D printed and 3D printed and they also have this other brand called Forge World, which sells resin miniatures. You can't use those either because they don't sell those in the stores.
You can't use your own models.
Use Forge World models. No.
That's mental. I've heard that they don't allow conversions, like converted models, which are just models that have like green stuff on them or a few little bit of modifications. and they don't allow the scratch build ones either now. They did for a while, but now they don't.
That's silly. Literally, what the hell?
Yeah, they're just because it's weird because they were encouraging that for the longest time.
Yeah.
In the White Dwarf magazines, and it was like back in the golden era when they had the classic skirmish games like Mordheim, Necromunda, and Gorka Morka. When they had those games out, they were all about, oh, here's all these conversions, here's all these kind of scratch-built things.
To be honest, I think it made business sense as well because they were selling more parts.
Yeah. They actually sold a thing as well. It was called a bag of gubbins, and it had what was it? It was like the wheel sprue. It had little ramps and things, all sorts of like little bits that you could add to your vehicles, and those things sold like hotcakes. But no, I think GW, they make a lot of things well and good, but some of their business decisions just don't. They seem counterintuitive almost.
Yeah, I mean, I think their products are definitely among the best, especially the games. But the way they throw them around is. I mean, again, you mentioned specialized games, for example, like Mordheim. It's like, yeah, here's this new game. We're not going to support it anymore.
Yeah, it's madness.
But I mean, I'm still pretty annoyed about the way they stopped Warhammer Fantasy. Because it was like, okay, you've got people playing this game for over 20 years. Yeah, no, you can't use your stuff anymore. Sorry, buy new stuff. I think that was, that's
kind of predatory at that point. I don't get it. I mean, with Dungeons and Dragons, it's always been a kind of aspect where it's like, theater of the mind. You don't need the miniatures. You can just all you need is the dice, the book, and a good DM in your party. That's it. The miniatures and such are just little additions.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, it's a bit crazy. Anyway, I've dismantled this now, and you can see we've got some cool little bits and pieces. And I like to add these things to, what is it, Kinder Eggs?
Oh, yeah.
They make ideal little cannons for your Garrote tanks and whatnot.
Okay,
I use them all the time.
One thing I found useful were deodorant bottles.
I've not found many other uses for them, to be honest. I think I use them as like industrial canisters and such as well.
Which ones? The Kinder Eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I'm not sure if you're seeing this. It's a deodorant bottle cap. Or actually, no, the body of a bottle of deodorant.
I can't see your camera at the moment. I can only see my own, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Let me just...
Anyway, it's just basically the shape of a large Kinder Egg.
Oh, nice. The lid of a...
Yeah.
Where it's like a dome-shaped lid. Yeah, they're those things are perfect for turrets. I think the only advantage with the Kinder Egg is the new design.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that it's sort of like, it's got like a, you can kind of see it there. It's got like the little ridges.
Ah, alright, yeah, I see it.
I don't think I've got a fresh Kinder Egg on me. But yeah, that you can actually just, when you're opening the egg, because it keeps it all in one solid part, you can actually just tear it off quite easily.
Oh, alright.
And then just jam that area up. I just fill it with tin foil and hot glue just to fix these things into place. But yeah, so
are those
enough
still,
about me. What are you working on, man?
are those things, no, I just wanted to ask, are those things still banned in the US? The Kinder eggs, I mean?
In America, yes. They only get Kinder Joy over in the US because some crazy person thought it would be, thought that the plastic container was food as well. I know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do think that the world would be a safer place if we just removed warning labels of everything. And, let evolution sort it out.
What is it they called it? Survival of the fittest. Darwinism.
Yeah, so what am I doing? Right now, I just... there's another piece of desert terrain that I want to finish up. It's a bit chunkier than the others. And after that, I'm not sure to be honest, I'll probably find this. Oh yes, I just watched a video on chicken tabletop crafting, making this kind of dark age cottage thingy. And I want to try and make a few of those in 10mm scale. So that should be fun.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, speaking of 10mm scale, do not one of the. This is the first kit I bought that's like 10mm scale. It's the. Let me just try and.
Is that a Dice Tower apartment block?
Yeah, it's one of the TT Combat MDF kits. Right. So I've just been tidying up the edges and such like. I'm still to figure out how to tidy up the edges of the lid here. Because it's all. That's the only thing I hate about like MDF kits is all these obvious seams, but they don't even try to hide up. So I just try and find new inventive ways of tidying them. But I'll be doing a video on that at some point once I've finished painting it up and getting the presentation and whatnot done, and then churning out the other kits.
A bunch of the stuff you've made, like the like that boat, that was a TT Combat one as well, if I remember correctly. It was a while ago. I think it was some kind of boat or ship.
Yes, there was the MSV Ironsides, I think it's called, is the kit, and it's an absolute bargain as well. I think it's only like 30 quid, and you get 6 shipping crates. You get what is it, like some sort of like weird nuclear container as well.
Right.
And yeah, you get like an extension on it, and it's probably one of the uglier kits. It doesn't really go together brilliantly, but with a little bit of ingenuity and skill, you can easily turn it from a 3 to at least a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I remember the way that you had done it up. It didn't even show that it was MDF. That was a nice build.
Yeah.
And I watched your Pariah Nexus unboxing yesterday. I'm still a bit perplexed with the contents of the box. It's like,
Yeah, it's the terrain that they put through in that one was probably the worst of all the Kill Team terrain sets that they've done. It was just boxes. It's like, come on, GW, you can do better than that. It's like they're not even trying. But no, I've got a few of those sprues extra, and what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to try and turn them into a monolith tank.
Okay. And
I'm already working on a Necron thing at the moment. I think it's called the Convergence of Dominion. It's basically like a spell / terrain effect.
How does that work?
So I've gotten a little bit more work done on it. I think I showed this to you before. I'll have to hold it up to this camera. So that's it there. We've got that.
Yes. I remember this one.
This is part of the monolith piece because it's all kind of in several layers and things as well. So I'm going to fill up that cavity, and I'm just going to keep marking it up with pieces. That's all like actual braille that's on there. And I thought, man, that looks like proper Necron style. But yeah, it's taken a lot longer than I originally anticipated, so I'll be doing that one in between a whole bunch of other stuff. What's Essex Boys saying? I'm going to make another load of grot tanks this week. Nice. Oh yeah, that's worth mentioning, is that the 40k orc community have a challenge build this month to make a grot tank, make or paint a grot tank. So you can use any of the GW kits, any of the Cromlech, doesn't matter which kind it is. You can just make one up and then enter it into the challenge, and I'll be the judge.
Nice. Do you have any more details of this? Or somewhere where people can go look it up or join in or something?
Yeah, there's the 40k orc community on Facebook, and there's also the Discord. If you go onto any one of my kind of more recent videos, I've got links to all that stuff in the description of my videos. You can also find the links easily on the Facebook group, and if you go into Essex Boy's video, I'm sure he's got the links in the blurb of his videos as well, like the blurb, which I also called a video description.
Nice.
Yeah, what else is he saying? Yeah, he's finishing up some of the details. Stephen's use of the labels of the PPE catalogue is a great finishing detail too. Yeah. The great thing about those PPE catalogs is that you can get them for free.
Sure thing, and I mean, you showed them last time. It was there's a lot of stuff in there. It's surprising.
Yeah, perfect if you're doing modern or post-apocalyptic builds, because you can just PVA glue it on, and then just dapple on a bit of paint, weather, and whatever you like.
Okay, Lisa's saying that she just got back from Maze West last week. You guys should have seen the awesome terrain that the GMs got. I can imagine it's amazing. I mean, like you've got all the big guys there. They really know what they're doing.
Nice.
You get DM Scotty and all the rest. It's like.
Oh yeah, they're legends. These guys.
There's a lot of weight of experience in there. It's never going to be not great.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, DM Scotty, I think he's like he's actually a professional artist as well. He studied art. Yeah, and because he was like, I think he was like probably the first YouTuber that was doing anything like Dungeons and Dragons style crafts.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. If not the first, definitely one of the first ones.
The first one that I know of, at least, definitely. But yeah, great guy, and he's always had that kind of plucky attitude as well. He's just got that whole kind of yeah, let's just do it. It's like Tupperware. We'll use that as a spaceship. It's like brilliant. That's what you need. You don't want these the people who are snobs who are going to like look down their noses and go, no, I don't think that's quite up to standard. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that, I think he's always got this kind of energy on his videos. He really is having fun. You can see that.
Oh, definitely. And if the hobby isn't fun for you, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, that's kind of the point of a hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Back to the Blender thingy just for a minute. Do you also want to see how the sculpting thing works?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Fire away.
So you can make some fairly complicated things with it, but like this guy, for example.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you craft that?
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Okay, and this Lawrence Fishburne looking guy.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. That wasn't built of a photo of Lawrence Fishburne. It was built of a totally different photo.
Okay.
Of someone who did not look at anything like that. So, but that's
So how do you import from a photo then?
No, I didn't import from the photo. I just sculpt. It's just a digital sculpt.
Wow.
Okay. The problem is that, like as I was saying, if you're using a mouse to do it, it gets pretty complex, and the mouse isn't really the right tool for that. You can still get stuff done, but it's going to be a lot slower.
Yeah, that was really cool in the wireframe mode there. It looked like René Auberjonas, you know, the guy who played Odo in Deep Space Nine.
To be honest, I'm not really familiar with Deep Space Nine. I never really watched that.
No, you wouldn't be, sir. It's one of the best, honestly. It's really well written. What it does is it really develops the characters, which is something that didn't so much happen in the Star Trek: The Next Generation until I think it was like the second or third season they started to really actually develop the characters and cast. But like with Deep Space Nine, it was all about the characters. It was more so a kind of space drama than anything else. It's well worth a watch anyway if you're into your sci-fi.
I think I might try to look it up. I don't think there are any any good ongoing sci-fi series. I have been watching Our Flag Means Death recently, which is hilarious. It's a pirate comedy.
A pirate comedy? What's it called?
Our Flag Means Death.
Our Flag Means That?
Means Death.
Oh.
Our Flag Means Death.
Cool, I'll need to check that out. I've been watching, what is it, that new sci-fi series, Raised by Wolves?
No idea about it.
It's, what is it, the big head executive producer of it is Ridley Scott.
Okay.
Who you probably know that he did Alien and the Prometheus and all those movies. Yeah, and it's basically about a couple of androids that crash land on a planet, and they're trying to resurrect and save humanity.
Okay.
So they've got all these frozen embryos with them, and they try to raise them and whatnot, and start civilization again from scratch. And yeah, it has huge religious overtones. Because it's basically they're fleeing from a war, a huge war that was had between atheism and theocratic types, and super advanced technology and everything. And these androids have been totally reprogrammed to be, you know, to try and resurrect humanity. And it's just really, it's a very interesting drama.
It does sound like it. I mean, like it sounds like a very meaty plot to work on.
Oh, definitely. It's got layers.
Yeah, that's would you say it was Raised by Wolves?
Raised by Wolves, yeah. I highly recommend it, because we're kind of, you know, it's a bit sparse in terms of sci-fi at the moment. I think the last great show we had was The Expanse. I
still haven't started watching it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I've heard. I mean, almost everyone I've heard who talked to me about it recommended it.
Oh yeah, it's good. I think a lot of people, you know, tend to have varying opinions about it, which is no bad thing. I mean, you've got all the new Star Trek shows and whatnot as well, but it's not really Star Trek anymore.
Is Star Trek still ongoing?
Yeah, they've got, what is it, the Star Trek Discovery, and they've got that Picard show.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Doctor Who's still on the go as well, but I think a lot of people have kind of tuned out from that for various reasons. I won't go into that. That's like opening up the floodgates.
That's just one of those shows that I'm surprised to hear is still on air. I mean, it's been there for ages.
Okay, yeah, anyway. I mean, the thing is about Doctor Who is that it's never really heavily changed from how it originally started back in the day.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But in other aspects, it has, like, you know, when it comes to the casting, the writing, those are the aspects that are kind of changing constantly because, you know, the Doctor changes, you know, he evolves and changes with each season. But anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But speaking of rabbit holes, what was it? The Lord of the Rings. You practically had a whole stream talking about the new Lord of the Rings.
No. Yeah. Let's put it this way. I'm looking forward to the War of the Rohirrim, which is the animated. I'm not sure if it's an animated series or a single movie, but that's looking good. But the live action thing there.
Wait, what's the animated one called?
War of the Rohirrim.
You have to look that up.
The thing is that when the show writers say Tolkien was wrong, we can write Tolkien better than Tolkien. It's like, why you do this?
Lord of the Rings animation. It's just coming up with the old ones from the 70s and 80s. Ah, here we go. Lord of the Rings animated movie sets. 2024 release, so it's not anytime soon.
No, yeah. Hopefully we'll have time to recover from the Rings of Power.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Amazon, though. I don't know if Amazon would ever cancel it because Amazon have stupid money.
I think they would, even if it did terribly, I think they probably just plow on with it just because they can. As a vulgar display of power. I
mean, that's the interesting thing, though, is apparently Amazon, they bought the rights to Lord of the Rings, but they didn't have anyone in mind for making it or doing a show for it. So they didn't have any writers like pointed out to streamline and otherwise, you know, push it into a particular direction. So they've just kind of, you know, gone with who wants to do Lord of the Rings, and they're just kind of winging it. It seems to be.
Yeah, it's something like that. Baitina, campaign terrain says shocking no one. I have controversial opinions. Trek, Star Wars, BSG, Stargate, Lord of the Rings, Narnia, Doctor Who, and more. Yeah, Cross is the one-stop shop for controversial opinions. We love him. Okay, Dungeon Matron, I wish Firefly survived. It was fabulous.
Yeah. We did get that faithful movie that kind of tied up all the loose ends as to where the show was kind of going in terms of the beavers and everything.
It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Serenity it was called. Classic.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, literally that was a series that was too good for this world.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's like that with a lot of shows. Like Kings was amazing as well.
Which one?
Kings. It had like it starred Ian McShane. It had Brian Cox in it as well. It was like, what is it? You know, Bucky from the Avengers movies.
Yeah. Okay.
He was like one of the stars as well. In fact, I think that was his first performance, which was what opened doors for him in the industry.
Nice.
It was a brilliant show. It was like it was a modern political drama, but it was all based on biblical wars and the story of Solomon, King Solomon, and it was really, really good. But what they did was the showrunners well, not the showrunners, the network that they were with, what they did was they kept rescheduling the show.
Oh,
And because the story was canonical, so it wasn't like formulaic, like you could just watch one episode and then it's a
and you
story
can
in
miss two
itself.
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like the same ilk as Game of Thrones and such, like, or Breaking Bad. It's like you've got to keep watching it. You can't just sort of like, not watch a few episodes and then try and work your way back in it. That's not how it works. And so they were like scheduling it a Tuesday, and then they would change it to a Sunday, and then they would change it to like a Thursday morning, and it was just like, what, So I think people behind the scenes
on Thursday mornings.
Yeah, it just, I think they just wanted it axed because of, I think it was because of political reasoning, because they thought, oh, it's a right-wing show, it's all about religion and stuff, because there's a lot of people who are ideologically driven that are just, like, and it's a sad thing in America. It's so polarizing, the atmosphere over there. It's like, it's like you're with us or against us kind of attitude, and it's you see it a lot in Hollywood and such as well.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, well, that's the world we live in today. Yay.
Yeah, it kind of happened with Christian Bale. I think he was like he played Jesus in a movie or something, and he had a lot of trouble getting roles after that, and then he was somehow able to circumvent it.
Wasn't that Jim Cavie's Jesus? What's his name? Did the Count of Monte Cristo, Person of Interest?
Oh, I can't remember. I've not actually seen the film. It was just one of those films that didn't appeal to me. I just thought,
yeah, me neither. I mean, but I think I remember that movie being a big deal in marketing and stuff. Then he just showed up in Person of Interest, which was a fantastic show.
Oh, nice.
But after that, I don't remember seeing him anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm just seeing like all the show names coming up, and folks they keep rattling off all these brilliant shows. Stargate was officially the longest running sci-fi TV series of all time, because it ran for more, I think it was over 10 seasons.
Well, hang on, because Disney is doing the Firefly reboot.
Oh no. Oh yeah, because they'll have the rights to that now because they bought over Fox Entertainment, so they've got like license to make whatever all that stuff is. Yeah, and they'll run it into the ground, no doubt. Hopefully
there will be no singing animals, but yeah.
I wouldn't put it past.
Come on, the Mandalorian was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's flawed, but it's still good. I enjoy it. I'll still happily keep watching it. Same with Boba Fett. It's flawed.
I haven't watched that yet. I haven't watched that one yet.
Well, it's worth a watch. It's Robert Rodriguez is directing the episodes, and so you know there's going to be certain people popping up as a result of that. Mainly Danny Trejo. It's like Danny Trejo always gets a cameo, no matter what.
He's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch the Machete movie?
Oh yeah. I've not seen the sequel though.
Me neither. But that one was like that movie had so much testosterone I had to shave twice while watching it.
I can believe it. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame because it's like films like that are kind of a bit of a dying breed now.
Yeah, they're.
Like, what was it? Apparently, I think it was called Blacklight or something. It's like a new Liam Neeson movie. And the guy's like 67 years old. He can't be doing action films anymore. It's like, what is it? It's like about 10 jump cuts for him to jump over a fence.
Come on, Liam Neeson is Liam Neeson. He can do it.
Yeah, he keeps so many editors and work. That's what everyone keeps saying.
Stargate. I have never watched an episode of the Stargate TV series.
Which one?
The TV show, the Stargate TV show. I have never watched the Stargate TV show. I watched the movie, not the TV show.
Yes, TV show is definitely worth a watch.
Good to know. Yeah.
What was it? Because there was like many spin-off series as well.
Yeah. All right.
Stargate Atlantis, which had the guy who plays Aquaman now.
Jason Momoa.
Yep, he was in it. He was like he was like one of the cast. Yeah, they all had it like what was it? Like half the cast from Farscape ended up joining the Stargate cast because when Farscape ended, all these great actors, they were like, "Oh yeah, we loved you in Farscape. You got to come over here." Yeah, so they all got guaranteed roles, which was no bad thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it just keeps the party going. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
It's 20:30. Let's get on with the sculpting thing. Just some very simple basics.
Cool, cool.
But what I would suggest is, if you really want to get into sculpting, is get something like a drawing tablet, even a really cheap one, because it's a lot faster to work with that than a mouse.
So have you got a drawing tablet then?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But basically, the thing is that the mouse is either clicked or not clicked. There is no range of pressure. For example, if you were sculpting with a tool, you know that you can have different levels of pressure. Hey, Papa. But with the mouse, it's just it's just on or off, so there's really very little control. But anyway, you just add any object. So let's say starting with a sphere.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird one because it's like with a sphere, if you're selecting the faces, it's all one single face.
But you don't really work with the faces. I'll just show you in a second. So I'm in the sculpting page over here.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm going to go into sculpt mode. Okay, you know, that gives us all these tools over here. Now, one thing you really want to turn on is dynamic topology. From the object settings over here.
So what does that do?
Okay, basically, as you're drawing, it will add in more vertices, more points. So if you look at the at this sphere now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I start sculpting on it, it will start to dynamically add more faces.
So it's adding more polygons.
Exactly. But only where it needs them, rather than you don't need to do a lot of subdivisions to begin with, and then enable this. But basically, what you've got these tools over here, and you can use them just the same way you would be adding clay or green stuff to something.
Yeah, I've heard that Blender is very much a push-pull tool when it comes to object manipulation.
Now, one thing here is that the closer you are zoomed in, the smaller the faces will be added, that will be added. So if I'm out here at this distance, that's going to add some fairly rough faces. If I'm zoomed up really close, it's going to add some very fine faces.
I dig it.
So the closer you are, the finer detail you can sculpt. And these tools just basically add different effects. For example, smoothing and this is scraper rating.
So Franklin is saying that you can adjust the pressure levels at the top as well, the strength.
From here, yeah. Yeah, from here, from the tool options, or from this menu. But the thing is that it's going to slow you down if you have to do a little bit, then go up here, then do a little bit more and go up here, rather than just pushing a bit harder or easing up on the pencil. That's why it's a lot slower. It's not impossible, but it's a lot slower. Oh, and you can also change the size of the brush by pressing F. Okay, so you can make smaller or larger adjustments. Even okay.
Campaign Terrain's just saying it reminds them of the scene from the episode where there's like a time-space anomaly and there's like a cloud. Karl just like draws a smiley face in it and starts erratically laughing. It's a great scene.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would do.
But no, that's really cool. Yeah, so with those simple tools, you can pretty much push and pull it to make any shape you want.
Oh yeah, I mean like basically you've got different options here for modeling and changing, and then remember that once you finish this, once you finish working in here, you can also take it back into the point editing if you want to do some more refinement. Or you can start to make shape the way we were doing earlier, and then bring it into sculpting to add more details.
Yeah, so you can pull just a singular point, or you can like pull a whole kind of like a sphere at once or circle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Depending on how far zoomed in or out you are.
Yeah, and depending on the tool you are using.
Nice.
Okay, so for example, let's see, you have creases. Okay, basically just forms a crease in the object.
Yeah, so you could add wrinkles.
Yeah. Can we put spiky bits? Yay.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah.
All sorts of different options. So I think the best way to get used to this is just to have a play around with it, because you're not going to break anything, you're not going to be wasting anything, so just have a play around with it. But
yeah.
Like I said, be prepared to take some time on this, because it takes getting used to.
Oh, definitely. There's so many hotkeys that you've got to kind of. But I suppose, like much like anything, it becomes intuitive after a while.
I wouldn't worry about the hotkeys initially. I mean, you can just get by using the icons and the stuff. The icons do make things a lot faster once you get used to it.
Sorry, cat, she's... If I don't keep her placated, she'll just keep mewing for attention.
Aww.
She's digging her claws into my hand at the moment. Just in, what is it they call it, padding, when they just do that with their claws. Apparently it means they're happy.
Yeah, that's good. You've got to keep the cat happy.
Oh.
Look at that face. So it's 20 minutes to 9 over here. Shall we pack it in?
Yeah. I think you've shown me quite a hell of a lot of what you can do with Blender. And yeah, I think I don't think I'm going to use it for like making STL files or anything, at least not at this stage. But I think, you know, the potential there for animation, like even if you just wanted to make a new channel intro or something like that, where you could have like, you know, animated titles going over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I think some of the earliest videos on my channel are about using some small effects like that.
She's making biscuits. I don't know what that's code for. I'm sure you're up to no good, are you?
Yeah, and I remember a few years ago I also made some animations for one of my martial arts teachers' channel. Basically,
Well, you've got to show that now. You've got to show us that now. You can't just drop a bomb like that and not.
It's a really simple animation. Basically, it's I can leave a link somewhere when I find it, but it's not that complex. But yeah, I mean, and like I told you earlier, I mean, I do most of my video editing for my channel in Blender. So it's really one-stop shop for everything. So once you get used to it, it's really effective.
Yeah. Well, have you got any more stuff on Blender that you've made that you can show us? Because I'd love to see a little bit of a gallery and stuff for anyone who's watching as well, because no doubt they want to see your amazing crafts and work.
To be honest, not many, because I'm really bad at keeping track of files, so most of these practice files I do.
Right.
I just delete them after I'm done with them, because I'm not really going to use them for anything, they're just for practice. There's that Stargate thingy I made a few weeks ago that's still unfinished, so that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I saw the tangible one that you made with foam, and that was amazing. So good.
And that's such an easy craft.
Oh, it's so beautiful, man. It's majestic.
Well, what the whole thing is basically, I think you can still see the pinhole here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
The only
So you put it like on a spindle.
And turn it around the hot wire cutter.
Amazing.
And the rings are just concentric circles cut from the same thing. It's super easy to make. Oops.
Yeah. So that's using like a special jig then. Oh, you won't be able to hear me without the headphones.
Say again?
I was just, I just discovered there you taking off the headphones and stuff. So it's like, oh, you won't be able to hear what I just said. So I was just saying, it's like, you've got like special jigs then that you use on the hot wire cutter to make circles.
Just the one. What? Obviously, it was buried under a pile of stuff, but yeah. That's all. This is all it is.
Amazing.
It's a piece of thick card with a pin through it.
So is that one you've made yourself then, that jig?
Yeah.
Amazing. And what is it you've made it from? Is that 3mm MDF?
No, this is basically the back of a drawing book. It's the card that you find not a drawing book, sorry, a file refill, those, what do you call it? It's basically those papers with holes in them, that kind of thing.
Yes.
This is the back
I think you just call it an A4 folder or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Binder.
Yeah. But anyway, any thick material you can cut easily works fine. Okay, just has to be thick enough to support the nail.
Very cool.
Dungeon Mason. I've been wanting to try lining a portal with lighting filament. I have no idea if it will work. Well, there's one way to find out. One thing if you do it this way with just making it in concentric layers is that you can also create spaces in the middle. So it should be quite easy to pass wiring through and stuff like that. Well, Pateria, college block. Okay, thank you. That's the one. That's the thing. Okay, so I think we're going to call it a night soon. So cool, thanks, Stephen, again for joining us.
No danger. Yeah, just to ask and stuff, are you doing any challenge builds or anything of the such like at the moment?
Not at the moment, but I will be looking at that grot tank thing. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to churn one out pretty quickly, to be fair. And yeah, if you jump onto the Discord, you'll be able to see what everyone else has built there as well, because that's where all the photo submissions go. Discord's really easy for like sharing pictures and such like, because you can set up different channels that are dedicated to different things, so it's a lot easier than Facebook is in that regard. Campaign Terrain saying, I'd like to thank Poppy for having Karl and Northman Brick on our stream.
Thanks, Poppy.
Yeah, she's a happy cat.
Green. In Europe, similar sheets can be bought as bookbinding cardboard. Thanks, that's very useful, because I would like to get more of it, but I don't want to be buying a block of paper every time. So, but I didn't know what it was called, so I will look it up. Thank you very much, Green.
I imagine that material's great for making bases with as well.
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just layers of card. It's pretty much the same as chipboard, kind of. But yeah, if you varnish it, it's really solid.
Yeah, I use what is it? One of the GW oval bases there, and then I just trace around it, and then just cut out with card. And I don't know how well the camera's going to pick that up, but that's just layered card.
Yeah, but pretty much the same thing as this.
And then you can just sand down the edges a little, if you wanted to. You don't have to. And then I use that for making my flying bases, like I've used for this thing that I'm making at the moment.
Let's throw that up on screen. That's looking awesome. I think I had a video specifically about the flying builds, yeah? The flying bases, not the flying builds.
Yeah, I've just used, what is it, some of the clear plastic tubing for the attachment, because you can usually get snug fits. And that's just an Allen key or Zeta key or X key, whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
And then, yeah, it keeps it pretty sturdy.
Okay, Clinton is asking, are there any guides on how much of the tank can be kit bashed? I'm assuming you can theoretically show up with a Deo stick with threads and a pen cannon.
Yeah, you can go 100% kit bashed, or you can go 100% scratch build. You can go 100% and everything in between, like, you know, just from the model kit. So it's open to everyone. You can just quite happily join in. The only thing that we kind of ask is that you submit some like a work in progress photo, just to show that it isn't some model that you've had from like back in 1864 that you just suddenly decided, you know, oh yeah, look what I just made today. But then they probably didn't have cameras back in 1864, or did they? Find out in next week's episode.
Maybe a portrait of it with a, you know, with a top hat and a tank with a top hat and stuff. And twirly mustache.
Guys.
Okay, so thanks everyone for being here. Thanks again, Stephen, for joining us. And next week we'll have Marcin from Jagersdorf Creates. I think I have to ask him for how to pronounce it. So thanks again and have a great evening.